That's who he is. That's why he's greatest hitter in the game.
I call him the greatest here in the world. I mean, look at his numbers. He's just unbelievable.
I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top. Keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life.
Coming in hot, Casey. What's going on, brother?
Boom. This show is brought to you by Ramblin' Man. Lord, I was born a Ramblin' Man. Sean Casey has not been in his home in 2 weeks.
It's been almost 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm heading back tonight, though, man. I can't wait to get home. So excited.
Nice. You know who's happy right now more than anybody is Juan Soto. The man hit 3 home runs last night, Sean, and that wasn't even like the news story that came out of it. The news story was that after the game, of course, everybody's all excited in the clubhouse. They asked Aaron Judge about it, and he said this.
I got my money on Juan in that situation, but he did what he did. He passed the baton and gave it to the next guy, and that's who he is. That's why he's greatest hitter in the game.
So then after Judge says that, they go to Soto and say that Judge said that, and then Soto says this.
He called you the greatest hitter in the sport. How do you feel about that?
I call him the greatest here in the world. I mean, look at his numbers. He's just unbelievable. I mean, he makes my job easier. He makes my play appearances a little bit better. Because when you hit in front of a guy like that, it just you're getting pitches. So he's the greatest one.
Dude, that's just 2 humble superstars right there. I love that, though, because, Judgy's saying Soto's the best. Soto's like, come on, man. Judgy's the best. I think Judgy's probably the best hitter in baseball, no doubt about it. But, Soto is right there with him. He's in the MVP talks. Soto might be the number 2 best hitter in the game right now, right there with Ohtani. So, the conversation's a great conversation. It's great to hear 2 superstars kind of going back and forth, but to see what Soto's doing, he's having a historic season with his statistics. And it's overshadowed because Judge is having an incredible season with his statistics. So any other year, if Judge wasn't having the year he's having, Soto's the talk of the town, dude. Soto's the talk of the league. But because Judge is who he is, it kind of overshadows how incredible Juan Soto is.
Yeah,
so it's a great, and what a great thing for the Yankees to have. I mean, Soto drove in all the runs last night. You see his 4th at bat. They said hitting 4 home runs in a game is harder to do than having a perfect game. I think there's only 24 people that have ever done it. The last Yankee to ever do it was Lou Gehrig back in 1936 or something. So, which is incredible. So, his last at bat, he walked, and the place booed out there in Chicago, which I thought was great. It would have been nice to see him take, one shot at getting that 4th home run. But
yeah,
really, really cool, man. When you see a guy like Juan Soto doing what he's doing, and to see him and Judge have that conversation was great.
Yeah, so great. And Soto can let Judge overshadow him a little bit right now, because once this season ends, the last pitch that's thrown in a Yankee game this year, Juan Soto will be talked about for the next 6 months of the offseason about how much money he's about to get. Right?
You think he's going to go back there, though, don't you?
Yes, unless, I mean, I don't know, Sean. Is there a difference between $500 and $700 million? I don't know. Do you turn down if somebody offers him $100 million more than the Yankees? Does he have to take it? He doesn't. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you're a New Yorker right now, Jalen Brunson took like $100 million haircut to stay with the Knicks. That's a whole different story. But in New York, yes. And now then they made him the captain. He's going to be a legend here. And guess what? I don't know how much money he's going to make back by staying with the Knicks, but you're going to make more money staying in New York than not. Now, the thing with Soto that complicates it is he could stay in New York and leave the Yankees and go to the Mets. It's that is going to be.
I just feel like it's going to take $50 million a year to sign him. We already know that. So he bet on himself years ago when he was offered 450 mil, turned it down. He was right, you know. And I just feel like the Yankees need him, man. The New York Yankees need him, and I think he loves being a Yankee.
I
Being a
agree.
Yankee, being a Yankee's different, man. It just is. So yeah, it'll be going to be an awesome offseason for Juan Soto and whoever gets him.
I know, I can't wait. So let's go back to the youth movement here. There's one guy who's not talked about as much as Juan Soto, obviously. However, you've been talking about this guy since he was in diapers almost. Hunter Greene is heavily in the Cy Young candidacy in the National League. It's not even a question.
Dude, he's just going to another level, and he had a great quote. They were asking him, what is it about this season that looks like you're taking off to another level? Dominant stuff. You're an all-star. That 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Now you can tell the way he sequences pitches. He's wiping guys out with that slider, right? And no, he's exactly what the Reds thought they were getting when they took him with their first-round pick. This guy's an absolute stud in the Cy Young conversation. And I was reading an article this morning about he was talking about his process. He said, listen, as a veteran guy, I started to understand I got to do something every single day. I can't take a day off. And I think what happens when people get a good protocol and process, as the season goes on, Chinch, if you're doing really well, you're like, oh, I'm having a great year. I don't need to run, on Tuesday or do my weights on Wednesday. I'm just going to take this week off. I should be good. I'm really dialed in. My pitches are good. Next thing you know, you go out there and have a mediocre start. Next thing you know, your habits of that process get a little, aren't as tight. And all of a sudden, a couple of bad starts. Then you're like, oh, I got to get back to the process. Well, you're 3 starts. So I think Hunter Greene's learned, no, I do my protocol no matter what. Right. So whatever that protocol is, game day on every 5th day I pitch, and then the 4 days in between. They're the best pitchers I've been around: the Justin Verlanders, the Kenny Rogers, the Josh Beckett's, the John Lesters, some of the Pete Harnishes, Denny Nagel. The best pitchers I've ever been around. Those guys had the best routines, man, the best processes, best protocols. In the 4 days they didn't start. And I think now Hunter Greene is at that point where he has enough years under his belt where he's like, okay, I know what works, what doesn't work. And what works is that protocol in those 4 days between starts is keeping him, that ritual is keeping him, on the straight and narrow to have consistency through his starts. Because I would say no code, no protocol equals chaos. You want chaos, you want some uneasiness, have no protocol, have no code. Because then you're just like, hey, what am I doing today? It's like when you wake up in the morning, what am I doing today? I don't know. Dude, that's a chaotic feeling. So Hunter Greene, locking it in, going to another level. Now we're talking about him in the Cy Young race, and all because the work he does behind the scenes is the reason why. And I love to see that stuff.
I love it too. And you told a great story the other day about when you were a young kid with the Reds and you were doing it your way and whatever. And Barry Larkin said, be you. We need you to be you. I think you're seeing that with him too a little bit. I mean, leading the league in walks, leading the league in hit by pitches, but maybe that's who he is, because guess what? His ERA from 2023, 4.82 is now 2.83.
2.83.
And he's 9-4, dude. It's unbelievable. Great job by him.
Yeah.
Flip it back to the vets, dude. Your boy, Alex Bregman, might be having, and he's an MVP candidate every year, right? Or has been. He might be having one of his best stretches of his entire illustrious career. You want to read them off, or should I read off these insane?
Go ahead, read them off, bro. Read them off.
Okay. 432, 16 for 37 with 4 doubles, 5 homers, 8 ribbies, and 12 runs during his 8-game hitting streak. His hot streak goes much longer than that. I'm going to give MLB.com credit. I'm plagiarizing here. He's slashing 305, 357, 540 with 15 homers, 38 ribbies in 66 games since May 26. And guess what? During that stretch, 41-26 record for the Houston Astros.
Well, listen, when Bregman got hot, it's a direct correlation to when they started taking off. Because, dude, he's the straw that stirs the drink. He really is. I mean, You got Alvarez, who's one of the best hitters this generation's ever seen, dude. Jordan Alvarez kind of flies under the radar at times. And Jose Altuve obviously doing his thing, but Bregman came out the gate scuffling so bad in that month of April. He was so bad. And I think a big thing that Breggy's, really wants to show too, it's his free agent year. Dude. He's a free agent after this year. They got Tucker, who's going to be a free agent after next year. They got Bregman's going to be a free agent after this year. So that's a big decision right there. Do you bring him back and what's the number now? And he's setting himself up. I'm talking about Juan Soto and Alex Bregman, two big names on the free agent market, both setting themselves up to be sitting pretty this offseason with what they've done this year. And Bregman's on fire, man. Four games in a row with home runs. That's tough to do.
That is very tough to do. He said he even said he made some adjustments earlier in the season and things started clicking, right?
Well, what he did was, what he did is Chris Young did a great breakdown months ago about when Bregman started getting hot. And Bregman, if you go back and look at it, I think it's on his Instagram or somewhere, he gets out of the car. Or no, maybe he sent the video to see why. He gets out of the car and starts explaining what he's doing. And he's saying he was too steep to the ball, that he needed his barrel to flatten out a little earlier and then be on plane a little longer. And that's what he's done. And you could tell that he's doing that because he's really driving the ball all over the place now since he made that adjustment. Game of adjustments, Shintz.
It's
Game of adjustments.
That makes me think a little bit because it started to get to a point over the last couple of years where it's like throw a high fastball. Nobody can hit the high fastball anymore because everybody's trying to do this or that, whatever. And now you're seeing a lot of the superstars. Some dude hit a ball over his head for a homer the other day. Like it almost seems like, and you're constantly seeing guys going like this in a dugout. Paul O'Neill used to stand in the outfield and do his stance and everything. I'm constantly seeing guys like up here in their practice swings more so now lately than in years back. I don't know.
No, I think it's true. I think you're right. I mean, you have to be able to hit the high fastball in this game because guys are attacking you at the upper rail. And another thing, dude, that I've noticed, especially being at the network this week and watching swings, especially Tyler Fitzgerald out there in San Fran, bro. And look at Judgy. Look at a lot of these look at Juan Soto. There's not a ton of movement now. Guys aren't really stepping and moving their body. Everything's almost happening like a phone booth. If you can picture it in a phone booth, the step, everything's a turn. And I think the reason why is velocity is at the best it's ever been. 94.5 is the average fastball now in the big leagues, dude. And at the end of the day, you can't have a ton of movement. You have to be on the heater and because you want to be on the cutter and the two-seamer, right? So like guys now, the swing is starting to become like a shorter, quicker A to B swing with the body and the hands. It's interesting how the evolution of the swing is changing a little bit.
Yeah, I actually slow mode. There was this really cool angle of one of Judge's swings the other night, and I was just looking at it in slow mo, and I thought something like that. I almost sent it to you, where it's almost like the coil is like so tight in the core, but the body's not like doing that back and forth or the huge. Even the guys with the leg kick, but it's like they're right here, and they're just kind of like exploding from like from this area. Am I right?
Well, they're holding that back hip now, and then they're just kind of stepping, turning, as opposed to like go look at the evolution of Bryce Harper's swing. Bryce Harper, when he first came in the game, was the down forward movement guy, really down the ball. Now he's like kind of in that phone booth, coil, load back on the back leg, step coil. Like step turn, right? So, and like I said, it's just quicker. It's more efficient. Anything that's not efficient now, you're going to get blown up. So you got to be shorter, quicker, more efficient. And you're starting to see these guys' bodies are starting to work that way. Just a quicker, tighter swing.
Yeah, I wonder if that new StatCast thing has helped guys out, or at least had them kind of like focus on their bat speed a little more, and if that's played an effect in kind of shortening your swing a little bit. You never know.
I'm sure there's something to that. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure the analytics have definitely played a part in guys having a shorter swing.
Yeah. All right. You had like a little before we came on. You had a little whip around the league with some things you're focusing on.
Oh,
what do you got?
Well, yeah. the guy last night, Zebby Matthews, cool name, right? Came up for start of the year in A-ball with the Twins, man. This guy has like, his numbers are ridiculous. Like 100, I want to say he has 100 and some, 117 Ks and like 7 walks. They brought him up last night. He dominated in his debut, dude, which is huge because that Twins offense is loaded. Those guys could swing the bat top to bottom. So I just thought that was a good debut last night. Zebby Matthews, remember that name, big dude too. And then 2 other points. River Ryan, the number 1 prospect for the pitching prospect for the Dodgers, is going to have Tommy John surgery, which that's a big hit, man. They've had a lot of injuries there and with the Dodgers. That's just really interesting. And then also too, Jazz Chisholm, that he dove home the other day with his left arm and looks like he did something to his UCL, might have a torn UCL in his non-throwing arm.
Could be killer.
That's a killer for what he's been doing for the Yankees. That'll be a total killer.
Yeah. Oh wow. Well, good, man. What do we call it? We should call this Casey Around the World with Sean Casey. We turn this into.
There you go. Maybe we start doing that.
Casey's Nuggets. I don't know.
Casey's Nuggets.
Tweet us in, folks. Do you like Casey's Nuggets? That might be a winner.
Bro, there's a Wendy's in this parking lot here at the Element in East Rutherford, and did you know Wendy's now has saucy nugs? They call them saucy nugs.
I've seen the commercial.
Saucy nugs.
I will contend though that their spicy chicken nuggets are better than any other chicken nuggets out there.
Yeah. I don't know. They definitely are, but
not healthier. I'm not saying
they're not healthier, but they're better than. I think McDonald's you can find like a chicken foot in there sometimes. Or somebody did one.
Like a human finger in there or something like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody's eating breakfast while listening to this. Okay, man. Are you going home? You're gonna be home?
Yeah. I'm working tonight 6 to 8 with me, Adnan Verk and Cliffy Floyd, which is great. Then I'm flying home, dude. I can't wait to get home, sleep in my own bed, see my family.
All right, let's do it, man. Get yourself home.
All right, man.
We're back at it.
All right, kid, have a good rest of the day, brother. Great seeing you, man, and everyone out there. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe and download. We don't say it enough. Subscribe and download. We need your help to keep this show going. Brother, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.